Yeah, that be dragons. Thank you for the 33 months, Jace. All right, look at that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's almost like modern didn't happen this morning, and we're starting out 20 minutes late. So we're starting off with some blue-red dragon tower. So the tower in our dragon tower refers here to Dynavolt Tower. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you get 2 energy, spend 5 energy, deal 3 damage to any target. Our dragons here in the Dragon Tower are Glorybringer and Niv-Mizzet Parun. So we often talk about identify problems, identify potential solutions to those problems that are a good way to approach deck building. And I actually think tower / energy in general is an interesting approach to solve some of the problems that blue-red kind of mid-range control decks can have in this format. In large part, I think this helps solve it because of this card. So one of the inherent weaknesses to these red-based mid-range or control decks in Pioneer, and in Magic in general often, is that they have a hard time killing large creatures. And Harness Lightning, in conjunction with things like Glimmer and Dynavolt Tower, is a way around that a lot of the time. So Harness Lightning here can kill things that have 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 toughness if you have enough energy in your pool. This card can often just be red Doomblade on a lot of boards. Dynavolt Tower also gives us a way to take our cards like Bonecrusher and Wild Slash and kind of upgrade them into bigger removal spells in conjunction with Dynavolt Tower. The adventure creatures also play very well into Dynavolt Tower, because generally speaking, when this card was in Standard, you couldn't really play many creature threats because you needed a critical mass of instant sorceries to trigger your tower. And now these adventure creatures are creature threats that also are instant sorceries to trigger your Dynavolt Tower. So interested to see how this goes. As far as the dragon theme goes, I've got a few copies of Silumgar Scorn here, which this card, similar to Stubborn Denial, can just be a force spike early counter unless they pay 1. And then as you get into the mid to late game where the counter unless they pay 1 is no longer relevant, you can just have a dragon in hand or on the battlefield to turn this into actual factual counter spells still. So let's go ahead and dive on into Pioneer League here and see how this goes. Happy New Year, Amherst. I appreciate that. Welcome back. This list just sent my wallet a death threat. But we'll see. This is why we experiment with it here. Easy mulligan here. I think even with an opt, like, this hand just doesn't have enough cards that impact the board early. Like, Niv and Dig in the opener don't do anything for a pretty long time. This hand's fine. Not super exciting, but fine. Bottom of Scorn here. Hopefully this is a matchup where Harness Lightning has text. Turn 1 elf, deal a Reno. Well, alright, sweet. Steam Vents is great. It means I can start stomping these things with without having to spend my only energy. So opponent had 4 mana in play on turn 2, but 3 of them were elves, you know, details. Yep. Okay, and this is, you know, what I was talking about with these Harness Lightnings, right? So, like, now these Harness Lightnings can kill Lovestruck Beasts. Because Harness Lightning is going to generate 5 energy, right? We'll just trade very cleanly. This is Sirach. We're going to be in a lot of trouble. Great Henge. Also not great for us. Also not great for us. All right, so what if I Harness Lightning this, it makes 5 energy and I spend 1. So that means I could Harness Lightning this, Dynavolt Tower this, and then this can't attack and they're down 2 mana. Leaving this in play could hurt me if they draw Galta. Do I just kill this to play around Galta? Their Galta would cost them 10 next turn if I kill this, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Yeah, it would not be great if they have another Lovestruck Beast, that's true. Yeah, I think I just kill the Beastly. Killing the beast is also ideal. Should I draw Brazen Borrower to bounce the Great Henge? The Great Henge doesn't impact tokens. Yeah, and there's Sirach, unfortunately. Tapped land really catching up with us here. So this is 10, 11, 12. Or sorry, just 10. They have Galta anyways. They had Lovestruck Beasts anyways, sure. Feels dead, man. As I've spent a lot of time saying, these elves are the best cards in Pioneer, as long as they're legal, I think. All right, Anger's good. Gust is good. Roast is good. Scorn and Stubborn Denial are not very good. Third Niv's probably slow. It's like be a blue-red, try and kill your things deck. Elder Deep Fiend's the best card in Pioneer. I mean, to be fair, the presence of these 1 converted mana cost dorks is one of the things that makes K-Return so good. Like one of the reasons why the blue-red Deep Fiend deck is sweet is because it gets to play Kozilek's Return, which is very, very reasonable in these types of matchups. Morning, Inhuman Rabbit. Inhuman Rabbit. I think I just anger here. And hope they don't have another 1-1. Hey, Trax, thanks for the host. Hope you had a good morning. Good New Year's Eve. Yep. Like, I get to shock this in and Glimmer this turn, but like if they have a Sirach here, I'm going to get hit for 10 down to 3, and then I just don't have a comeback mechanic at that point, right? Hey, Rurik Thar, she blows. Thanks for the Prime support. Welcome to Huglandia. Happy New Year. Yeah, that's a card I could definitely beat. My blue-red deck, right? Okie doke. That was particularly close. I casually scrolled through my ads on Twitter. Did I see you in particular added me on Twitter? I have no idea. I don't pay super close attention to the usernames. Sure. Lead on Passage on 1 for a blue source. Shock in Steam Vents on 2. Get to hold Scorn up on the play. It's not terrible. Maybe 2020 is the year they finally ban sufficient cards out of the green decks. Maybe. Banning Forest probably isn't even good enough. A lot of those decks could just like play a bunch of different green shock lands and not care. Looks like Soul Flare. This is actual factual counterspell right now, which should be pretty good here. Took a Murderous Rider to their hand with that. I think 1-mana dorks are too good for Pioneer. I think they're the best thing you can be doing in Pioneer, and that will always be true as long as they're legal. Hey, thanks for 11 months, Reshard. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope your new year is kicking off well. We'll always be here when you float back around to Magic. I always often say people don't quit Magic, people just take breaks. Yeah, I actually saw that clip before you had linked it to me. I don't know. I think Bernie's probably the candidate for me. I feel like whenever any of these Democrat candidates spout the Republican / insurance company's talking point of people like their current health insurance, they should get to keep it. They should be like forced to give up whatever insurance they have and work through the system we have now. Because they very clearly don't understand how the current system works to say people like it. I think Warren has a good point in that like people don't like their insurance, people like their doctors, people like their healthcare professionals, people don't actually like their insurance companies. That's a lie. Are you for banning elves or for printing more turn 1 efficient removal? I think you should ban elves. So if you just print more efficient turn 1 removal, what you're then doing is turning your games into this sub-game where, like, did they have the elf, and did I also have my efficient 1 mana removal? Which is just like this sub-game that's just really not fun. It also doesn't account for a Boreal Grazer, which you can't just kill with the removal spell. Yeah. Yeah, it gets into when you print more, if your solution is to print more answers rather than just removing the problem, you really get into that sub game of like the illusion of choice, where it's like, well, it wasn't really a decision because I had to answer this thing or I lost the game. I feel like I'm supposed to just bluff a counterspell here. I think I'm just gonna pass here to see if they play around a counterspell, because I can dig and hopefully find another Scorn. But I know they have a Soul Flayer in their hand. And they have a Zatalpa. So if they jam the Soul Flayer here, we are just going to be dead, basically. Well, I guess if it doesn't have Hexproof, I can Brazen Borrow it. But they have a Caryatid in the bin, right? Yeah. Wait, did they not ban? Did they not dredge the... Wow, they didn't dredge the Caryatid. Death Touch, Double Strike, Indestructible, Trample, Vigilance. Sweet. So, they jammed, and they didn't delve the Caryatid for some reason. Might still be dead here, but I have a shot now. They could have a third one. So we're not in a good spot, but we're not just dead. Oh, I've got a little attention for you, MB. Good morning. Welcome back. Wouldn't want you to feel left out. Well, those aren't particularly good, huh? Looks like we're dead. This is feeling very similar to the red-black mid-range deck we played yesterday, which had the issue of not being particularly aggressive, but also not having sufficient threats, not having sufficient answers to line up well into what the opponent's doing. Like, even here, I, like, reach for my sideboard to, like, okay, how do I make this matchup better? And the answer is, I can't. I've got, like, 2 Disdainful Strokes for more ways to counter this Soul Flayer. But that's all I really have, right? And unlike a deck that's more proactively slanted, I can't just, like, try and race this opponent. My deck just, like, doesn't have the tools to be able to do that. Morning, Sunshine. Yeah, I think we do want Dispute for Bad Mana Lake. I think that's accurate. Our counter spells are definitely our best tools here. If we can keep their Soul Flayers off the board, we have a chance. Inhuman Rabbit, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub at that. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your new year. Welcome back. Yep. I'm supposed to counter this. It's a shame I don't have any of my removal in my hand. The problem is if this resolves, like, this card also just beats us down. Hey, thanks for the sub, Gifty Rabbit. Savage Summoning. The next creature card you cast this turn can be cast as though it has flash. That spell can't be countered. It enters with good lord. This is what these types of cards looked like before Veil of Summer existed, huh? There's a beta copy of Veil of Summer right there, chat. All right, their start's really slow here. So maybe we have a shot. Well, that's a good glimmer. Okay. And I think we just like, oh dragon, my dragon here, just like jam the Glorybringer and hope to race them down with it. If they don't have hexproof for their Soul Flare, Brazen Borrower here puts them in a bad way. So there's the... Yep. Alright, so we're dead. This last card, Soul Flare. Their hand was Zatalpa, Sylvan Caryatid, Questing Beast, Soul Flare. Just the 1, 2, 3 perfect monster. Yeah, we just, our deck just doesn't have any counterplay to that. As Pioneer becomes more cemented, I'm going to probably start being a little bit more selective about the decks that I'm accepting. For the most part, in an early format, I tend to just accept most anything. But as we realize what decks, like, it's hard to know at a glance at the beginning of a format what's reasonable and what's not. And I still think there's plenty of things that are reasonable in this format, but as I get more experience playing and see what's good and what's bad, it makes it a little bit easier at a glance to be like, that one's probably not going to generate reasonable games, etc., etc. Why is the smoke alarm going off from all the tickets you're burning? I actually sold a bunch of tickets. I sold a bunch of treasure chests the other day. We had a good pile of tickets. So we got 162 tickets left. Already back up to 11 treasure chesties too. Modern this morning reminded me why we're done playing Modern. It was a disaster. Okay. Whether or not they're a little red deck or a bigger red deck, Harness Lightning should be very good here. Hey Matt, do you remember when I registered Dynavolt Tower for the Players Championship? Remember when that was a decision you let me make? I'm gonna put that one on you. Remember the time you let me do that? I think I top 8'd that one though, right? So it's probably fine. Yeah, I just need to, like, stop looking at Saffron Olive's takes on things, Marty. He's been very consistently old man yells at cloud for most of 2019, so think I'm over it. Are you ready? Bonecrusher's ready. Alright, so let's just get the Dynavolt Tower charging then. Charging Malazer here. Oh, yeah. Would Wizards approve of me giving Chandra this fat stubby D? This is what they want, right, chat? They want Chandra to have that fat stubby D. A decidedly male fat stubby D. Lore-friendly stream. Exactly. See, you get it. You get it. Quite the lore-friendly stream. Oh, you're watching this stream without headphones. I'm sorry. You should know better. All right, what are we trimming here? If they're the bigger red deck, Wild Slash probably isn't very good. Harness Lightning's still great. Do I want Roast? Roast kills Torbrand. Roast kills Torbrand, so that's probably fine. Need 3 cuts here. Let's try this. Morning, Rivalry. Happy New Year, folks. I mean, to be fair, that is the big difference. That is the big change the London Mulligan made to Magic. Is the London Mulligan, in my opinion, definitely widened the gap between decks that are actually good and decks that aren't. Because the London Mulligan removed a great deal of variance from Magic. And when you remove a bunch of that variance, you remove bad decks' abilities to get wins. Because the good decks are going to stumble and die and stumble and not play Magic less often. So a lot of the wins that decks that were previously unplayable were getting on occasion are now being removed. Because people who are playing the better decks are getting to actually play a game of Magic more consistently, and the better decks are going to beat the bad decks more often than not. So I think that assessment is accurate. So I do kind of understand where Saffron's coming from, because like Saffron mostly plays decks that are terrible, right? So like the types of decks that he likes to play are definitely winning less under the London Mulligan than they did previously, because those types of decks aren't getting the free wins from people not playing Magic that they were once getting. Sure, yeah, and I'm not like, that's nothing against him personally. I'm just saying, like, observing, like, this is an outcome of that change. I don't think it means the London Mulligan's bad, like he's trying to say it is. I'm of the opinion the London Mulligan is one of the best things to happen to Magic in my almost 2 decades playing the game. I think getting to actually play a functional game more often is a net positive for Magic. Happy New Year's, Korluski. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Giant dragons blowing through ya. Do 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 do. I think Cube April had hit the nail on the head on Saffron's last tweet about the London Mulligan, in that she said that the London Mulligan, and this is something Autumn had said at one point too, is that the London Mulligan didn't actually create any problems in Magic. The London Mulligan just makes problems that were already there a lot more apparent. By removing variance that was inherent to Magic, issues in the actual core gameplay happen more frequently, so they're more in your face. So things that felt like they weren't really issues before because the inherent variance of Magic kept them from happening as consistently. When you remove some of that inherent variance, the ugly parts of Magic happen more consistently. And that's not a problem with the Mulligan change, it's a problem with the inherent part of Magic the Gathering. And you don't undo a good change because it shows you other problems. Instead, you go, okay, we made this good change. It showed us these other issues. Let's tackle and fix those other issues. Whether or not fixing those other issues is ban lists or different card designs or, you know, different design philosophies, whatever it is. Get your tapped lands. Get your tapped lands here. Variance obfuscates issues with the game and differences between deck and player skill. Yeah, exactly. Big agree. I also fully agree with that, Mr. P. I think Arena, especially, has introduced a lot of new people to digital Magic. And digital Magic has allowed a lot of people to experience a lot more games of Magic than they ever have previously. And getting to experience that higher volume of games lets players experience those negative parts more often. And humans inherently just remember bad things more consistently than they remember the good things that happened. Yeah, a lot of people were only playing, you know, their F&M once a week for like, you know, half a dozen matches there, or even a dozen matches they were playing between rounds. And like now, you know, you can play twice that in half the time in an afternoon on Magic Arena. Yeah, digital Magic also forces people to never get to play a match of Magic where they mana weave or where they shuffle insufficiently. Weird. We're just playing against Big Red again. I was like, wait, this is a new match, right? Yeah, we 2-0'd the last one. Hopefully they play a dragon here and we get to like Bonecrusher plus Wild Slash it. I guess we can do that to this too, right? Are you ready? Bonecrusher's ready. Lay the beat downs. Gosh, I really hope we get more adventure cards sometime soon. You know, I'm actually just going to pass back here because I don't want to play Bonecrusher and then have it just get Glorybangered. So I think I'd rather wait until I can play Bonecrusher, hold Harness Lightning up. So ideally, we're going to draw an untapped land next turn. I think I'm just going to double stomp this and hold my Harness Lightning for a bigger threat. To take a little bit of a beating to do this, but I think that's fine. Feels Magic Man. Yikes. I'm gonna wait and try and draw a land here so we can Glorybringer this. Perfect. We do have the fanciest of Bonecrushers. Let's see if they know how Glorybringer works or if they exert here. Oh, honey. Oh, Glorybringer is very picky. Glorybringer doesn't bang other dragons. You can tell the people who played standard with this card and who not. It's a mistake. Mistake you generally only make once. Do they have a removal spell for my Bonecrusher Giant? So we'll Harness Lightning, kill this Glorybringer. Sure, you have a Wild Slash. My Glorybringer is going to kill the Rabble Master next turn. I get to play Bonecrusher to block their Mutavault. Harness Lightning doing a good job here of killing things that have higher toughness for us. Aether Hub being super useful in that respect. We're at 7, but we're pretty far ahead on board here. Be kind of surprised if our opponent could burn us out from here. Maybe a Torbrand could let them punk us out of the game potentially. But if we hold up Brazen Borrower, that should be difficult. That's scary. So this can only block flying creatures. So if they have, if their last card's a Lightning Strike, we could be dead here. So I'm going to opt looking for a Burn Spell, a Silumgar Scorn, or a Stubborn Denial. I wonder if they're going to only attack with one and then try and castle me here. This bodes well for me if they're castling, because it means they don't have a burn spell. So let's opt. That's actually not good enough because I only have, oh, that puts a 6th card in my bin. Sick. Dig through time, daddy. Huh? I think I'd take the Scorn here, right? Feel like if I have a counter spell, they just can't win. Hey, Joel, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday wherever you're at. Happy New Year. I think I'd rather just hold up Scorn than die than cast Niv-Mizzet here. So they're dead to this Harness Lightning. We attack, we bang, we lightning the Mutavault. They take lethal. Close game. Hey, definitely want Aether Gust here. I'm not sure that I want Roast. I boarded in Roast last time, but I'm not 100% sure if that's right. It probably is. Wild Slash is pretty mediocre. I guess they have Rabble Master. Wild Slashing Rabble Master is a real thing. I guess Borrower's not that good if they're playing Chain Whirler. Is Stroke good enough? Would I rather have a Stroke or a Stub? I think I'd rather have a Stub. I think I'm happy with this. Is Anger something I want in the draw, maybe? Anger kills their Bonecrushers. It cleans up Rabble Master. They have Soulscar Mage. Maybe Anger is what I'm in for. Tower a little bit too slow here, maybe. I bought him the dig here. Yeah. Do I hold up Opt on one here? I think I want to just play this tapped land because I don't really know like what this Opt is looking for just yet. Playing the Modern deck for Matt reminded me why I'm no longer taking Modern submissions. It was not a good scene. We played the green-black Yawgmoth Chord deck. I mean, that deck being bad isn't going to stop people from playing it. That's not how Magic or Modern work. Not even a little. I think I just 1-for-1 this Anger here. I don't want to take more hits. But yeah, people registering Birds of Paradise in a format where Lava Dart is legal and played is a decision. And that doesn't even get into just like how powerful the Urza deck is on all cylinders. So whenever you play any spell, non-creature spell. Okay, so I think I do this. I think my plan is to like Glimmer this turn, take 5, and then like Glorybringer the Scab Clan next turn. Morning, yummy. All right, I guess I'm killing the Mutavault at this point. Still taking 5, that's whatever. We're hoping they don't have a double burn spell to kill the dragon. So if my dragon is unsuccessful in killing this berserker, we could be in for a bad time. So if we stabilize at 10 here, that's pretty good for us. Relatively high life total. What are their best plays here? Like Chandra or a dragon of their own? Just a Bonecrusher is not too big of a deal. I guess it depends on if they can kill this. If they can kill our Bonecrusher Giant next turn, they get to put us to 4. Which is pretty low. 4 is a lot scarier than 8. Very easy for them to punk us out from that position. Who's got 2 thumbs and dies to Embercleave? This guy right here. Everything worked out better than expected, chat. Everything worked out better than expected. Hey, Langler, thanks for the 26 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. I am still here. Well then. Since they sequenced this way, do I attack with this? Yeah, I'm probably supposed to. Most of their haste things that aren't a dragon, I can wild slash, right? If they draw exactly Glorybringer, I'm sad that I attacked. Did I make it to midnight? Lol. I did laundry, I did dishes, I went to bed. That was my New Year's Eve. I was asleep before 10 o'clock. All right, what is a game 3? Baby, don't hurt me no more. I quit playing after 2 matches, and I'm not bother uploading it to YouTube. I'm canceling the last modern deck in the queue and refunding the person's money, or letting them change it to something else. Nice. This is a burrito match. We are 2-2. This is the rubber band one. For all the dollary dues. I think this is a mulligan, right? I don't think I can keep that in good conscience. Yes, this hand's fine. I can keep this one. I think I bought him Brazen Borrower here. Keep the 3 lands, the other 3 spells. Fetch Island to start here. I mean, I don't know that that's strictly true, Zajad. The best, honestly, to me right now, the current modern format, it feels like it's pushed towards being like a more narrow version of Legacy. Like, the best deck in modern right now is very similar to how the blue decks tend to play out in Legacy. It's incredibly grindy, and it's much better than all the other decks that are trying to do something not what it's doing. If you enjoy the play patterns of the Urza deck, Modern's a great format. It's honestly as it honestly reminds me a lot of when we played back. Anybody in chat play back when Birthing Pod was legal? The Urza decks kind of went through the same iterations that the Birthing Pod decks did back in the day, which was like everybody was so focused around them being combo decks that like it eventually just like Abzan Pod for Siege Rhinos was the best Birthing Pod deck at the end of the cycle. And like the Urza deck feels like it's iterated in a very similar manner. It's like, well, this was a combo deck, but it iterated to the point where they're like, I don't even need Thopter Sword, right? Just like playing it as a fair deck is ideal. Really needed to draw a 4th land, drew a 6-drop. Feels Magic Man. If we hit our 4th land, Glimmer of Genius would find us a 5th land. Hopefully we get to the final iteration of Birthing Pod where it gets banned. Yeah, here's a... I don't know. For me personally, I think especially with Pioneer being as reasonable as it has been for me, I think I would have to see more than just Urza banned. I would need like some new toys printed or something like that. Maybe the new Heliod combo is good enough, but I don't know. Honestly, not playing with Once Upon a Time and Veil of Summer is nice. Like when those cards are legal in a format, it almost feels like a chore because I feel like if I'm not doing those things, I'm not really like you pull Urza out of the format and you look at it and you go like, okay, now I have to play Once Upon a Time. And like those like must play style cards. Oh, that's a Witch Stalker. Hexproof is Vomit. Well, bottoms up. Thanks for the 4 months, Holy Scat. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, we just have creatures we can put into play, right? So, like, I can block this, and, like, I don't have that many blue instants, right? Like, I don't have that many actual counterspells. So, like, here, for instance, I get to, like, Bonecrusher this, play Bonecrusher Giant, and, like, my 4/3 can just trade with this. And like, I can play Glorybringer on defense next turn. Then we get to play Niv-Mizzet the following turn. Murderous Rider, just another Chupacabra, rude. That's probably smart, Murdy. So they left this elf up. Leaving elf up implies they have a 3-mana removal spell here, I think. Huh? If I put them on having a removal spell, do I lead on Glorybringer? I think I'm supposed to lead on Glorybringer, assuming they have a removal spell. Now, I guess the other part of this question is, can I beat this removal spell? Because they attack me for 6, right? That puts me to 4. And then they cast this Murderous Rider. Like, even if their card draw for the turn is a blank, I'm probably dead, right? All of my angers are in the sideboard. So I think we're dead here. Needed to not miss our 4th land on 4. Stubborn Denial and Scorn can go away. Bring in Roast, bring in an Aether Gust, click Submit. Sure, the Aether Hubs as 2 of our lands are a little bit awkward, but Dynavolt Tower probably means it's fine. Harness Lightning also goes a little bit of a way towards making sure our things stay charged. That's unfortunate. Losing the Dynavolt Tower makes the mana in this hand incredibly awkward. They just like have another discard spell? They must have another discard spell, right? Or maybe they have an Abrupt Decay to kill this? I feel like this is not going to get to generate energy. I think I still just have to play it? Really? Okay. Yeah, maybe they're just unfamiliar. Like, maybe they didn't consider the repercussions taking Dynavolt Tower would have based on how my lands look this game. That could be it too. Like, maybe they didn't consider how good taking this would be in terms of cutting off my mana. Their start being super slow here is good for us. Horn and Soul. Glad I bottomed that Steam Vents. I'm not just jamming the dragon here because, like, it's probably just gonna die. So I'm gonna wait until we can get some value out of it. Glimmer is sweet. Opponent giving us all the time in the world is great for us. I think our deck's definitely favored as these games go really long. Weird. Sure. So, my tower can kill their token, and then we can roast the Nightpack Ambusher next turn. This seems really weird based on all the other cards they've played last game, because, like, last game, their deck was mostly a tap-out deck, right? They had, like, a bunch of Chupacabras and stuff. I don't think I'm in for the Aether Gust. Oh, I should have towered that. Yeah, whatever. Guess I can Brazen Borrower it now, so that works out pretty well. Witchstalker is a wolf. Yeah, it could just be like a wolf theme deck, basically. You have a 2/2. I assume their hand is just a bunch of reactive cards at this point. Cannot live another day without the Burrito Center. Thanks for the biddies, Hobart. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Thanks for keeping me around. This is the 2-2 bracket, Marty. We are battling for our burrito match. All right, Ryder me. Really? Okay. What if they just like have another Chupacabra? They could just have another Chupacabra. And we have two tower activations in the bank. Okay, so they're dead. We get to go. Tower you, untap, tower you, dragon plus Brazen Borrower you. Is exactly 13. I think my opponent had a misassessment with their duress on turn 1. And they definitely should have taken my tower. Not only because it would have made my mana awkward, but it would have made controlling the game a lot harder as things went long. I don't know that we would have necessarily lost that game if we didn't have the tower, but we would have been in a much worse spot. YOLO. You can always find out the current record by typing !record in chat. Nothing but net. Hashtag skill game. Getting the bot to assist on trolling people is a good time. See if they down tick her Bonecrusher is gonna finish her off. I guess she's the reason they're a night pack deck. Even if they don't down tick her, we're gonna stomp her and then play the Bonecrusher. And if they do down tick, it's still the same play. Huh? Yeah, I think I'd rather get my laser charge in here than play the Bonecrusher right away. Yeah, I agree, Zajad. Vivian Champion's like a really sweet card, but as far as like the context of this format, I think she leaves a bit to be desired. Was that a good draw? What do we think? Can I get some opinions from the chat on if that draw was reasonable? Maybe slightly above average. Stuck on 3 lands, but doing okay. Opponent's down to 1 card in hand. Not a Stone Rain, 0 out of 10. This doesn't trigger when we kill their thing with a Dynavolt Tower, so that's nice. Check out some of our options here. Sick. It's actually been a pretty quick set overall. Only been playing for it. Well, that's a big boy. That's a big boy. Garuk is on fire. That. Now we really need to draw an untapped land, huh? Okay. So I could Wild Slash plus Tower the Garruk. I think I really need to play a land this turn, though, so I'm going to gamble a little bit and Glimmer. We get 4 shots at an untapped red source here. Sick. Think it's correct to go for the land there. With the Wild Slash drawn. Hit or not hit there, I think that's the play to win line. Excuse me? So let's kill that. I think we just need to race them at this point, right? I think I'm just going to do that. I'm going to play Glorybringer. Maybe I'm just supposed to Aether Gust the bounty this turn. I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to just, like, fade for a turn and then, like, can Borrower plus Gust to tempo this Primeval bounty. Like, Chupacabra is their best draw here, or another Garruk. Another Primeval bounty. Okay. I mean, that's actually not that big of a deal because now I can... I'd really like to draw a land. I meant untapped land deck. Come on now. Darn it. Darn it, deck. Yeah, I'm going to gust one. Make them decide what they want to do. They put it on the bottom. I think I'm going to go ahead and just roast this wolf. While it's still roastable. Just like, need to fade like Chupacabra and Murderous Rider are cards I don't want to see. Yeah, this game's pretty much over at this point, right? Get to Petty Theft this. It definitely does, Dwight. Thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Did I miss lethal? I miss lethal. If I attack with this, the Dynavolt Tower, it doesn't matter. We're going to win this game, but the Dynavolt Tower plus Fumarole attack was lethal there. Because I can't roast the bounty is exactly correct. Yeah, as long as Brazen Borrower is like an omnipresent card in this format, trying to play big expensive things like bounty is just gonna be tough. So we get to end step, play the Borrower, dig through time, hit them with the Dynavolt Tower. So they're dead a couple different ways here, even though I missed lethal last turn. Yeah, so overall, we died to... What did we lose to? We lost the first one was to mono green, and honestly, I don't know that you can really make this archetype much better against the mono green deck without splashing a color. I don't know. I think like so on my website, which is an incredible resource for finding sweet Pioneer decks. I have a Grixis Dragons deck up here, and I think after playing through that, I think I'd rather just be playing this compared to the build that we just played. I think having the more proactive disruption in the form of Thoughtseize, I think having hard removal in the form of Dreadbore and Murderous Rider is good. I think those are both things that I'm interested in doing overall. While Harness Lightning definitely solves some of the issues that Blue-Red has with larger threats, it's just not enough against the Green Stompy deck. The Green Stompy deck just has so many incredibly large threats that you just, you end up short a lot of the time. Alright, don't go anywhere just yet, folks. We're done with this deck, but we got a lot more Pioneer coming up yet today. We're going to be playing some Abzan Seasons Past up next, and then we're going to be going back to my favorite blue-red deck in the format. We're going to play some blue-red Eldrazi with some Elder Deep Fiends after this one, so don't go anywhere on this New Year's Day. We've got 2 more Pioneer Leagues coming up before we dive on into some Standard on Magic Arena. Thanks for hanging out, folks.